Okay, so the first thing you do to create your own reality is to not give a fuck what anybody else thinks, right? Okay, we're going to do a little test in that. Like, I don't really fucking care if you like my chair. I don't care if you like my shirt. I don't care if you like my hair. Of course, I do care a little bit. I took my shorts off, so I must care a little bit. What, you never watched me get dressed before? Just kidding. Okay, so, actually I'm not kidding. Okay, so, I wasn't going to need my glasses. So, okay. God is not outside of you. Doesn't mean God is inside of you. Okay, so Spirit showed me today the game, right? Okay, so I've just been watching Wynonna Earp, and it did this. Spoiler alert, the last season, I believe it was, of The Magicians. There's quite a few shows and things that touch on this concept of when you do something. Okay, I'm just a little bit delirious. Okay. You know that old saying, you keep doing the same things, you get the same results? Spirit showed me that clearly. We're in New Earth. We've already won, per se, okay? The monoliths raised up all around the world, and when Saturn came close and we could see it, I was going to say Saturn and Jasper, that's funny, maybe Jupiter. There was a reading took. So we were over 50%. So we were at least 51% of mass consciousness. We already ascended. Okay. I'm from the land of the yellow sun, so I'm going to put Mandela effect in the title of this video because my life evolves around the fact of what many of you call the Mandela effect, a quantum shift, of knowing, number one, that I moved from a reality where there was a yellow sun to reality where there's a white sun. Interesting side note on that. I ask people, that's one of my favorite things to ask them, what color is the sun? And I've been getting at least 10% people say blue. I think the white sun is looking blue to some people. So the people that don't recognize the change or know the way things are here now, it's like they were either built in this program. So the people that see the reality shift, your heart chakras open, you got more chakras open, your new earth attributes are available to you. We tend to get, as humans, like you touch a hot stove, you don't touch the stove again. So we have certain things that we have learned over and over and over. So now Spirit's telling me, completely resist all of those. Don't respond the same. Don't think the same, okay? And I've been working on that for decades. But, okay, so something will happen and I'll have a response inside and then I'll be like, okay, it's okay. What can I do a little bit different? How can I respond to this energy a little bit different? Whether it's my own thought, whether it's something to do with my body or my health or what's going on in the world, how can I respond just a little bit different and then I'll create a different reality? I've spent many times practicing with this in the past of, I'll respond different. Well, responding different also means in your own thoughts, okay? However, I am guilty of, and that's what Spirit was bringing out in me, of like, fuck, right? Who fucking cares? Okay, so yeah, Mandela effect, quantum shift, yay! I can't shift into the fucking reality I want, so fucking just grow old and die and survive or whatever, who cares, right? So, even gals like me eventually get cynical, eventually get like, well, I've done that 5,000 times over 50 years, it didn't fucking work, so why do it again? So Spirit's really prompting me, pay attention to the rebirth, the new you, looking at everything, maybe as a baby, as you've never seen it before. And the last few days, probably the last week, it's interesting because the environment that I'm in now, I've been in, and I, for some reason, didn't notice things. Like all of a sudden, there's just this multicolored pot, and I didn't notice it. or this dragonfly thing. And all of a sudden it just is really beautiful and it's there, but I didn't notice it. So notice for things to shift in your reality. I'm going to give you some different tips. I'm giving myself a marker of different tips of how to shift realities. First of all, we have to let go of all conceived beliefs. And I know we've done it a million times. I know it's like the little boy who cried wolf in the story, that, but just one more time, okay? Do it again. Do these tools to shift your reality, okay? Respond different to things when they come up, even if it's just a little bit. Even if you'd be like respond 10 minutes later, or in the thought in your mind, think of something else. My last video, I talked about Psychiana, where you can't have two thoughts at once and you just keep repeating, I believe in the power of the living God. I believe in the power of the living God. You don't let thoughts come in. And the example I heard today was about, yeah, well, a bird can land on your doorstep, but you can swish it away. So a thought, yes, a thought may come into your mind and you didn't think it, or you didn't create it, or you don't feel that it's, but you don't have to let it make a nest. You can just move on. And part of doing that is having a different thought. Yes, forcing a different thought. Okay, so different thoughts, different reactions, creating different realities. As New Age spiritual study channeled information, we've worked on this in a way forever. We've listened to our favorite channels, blah, blah, blah. You're all channels now. You don't need a guru. And your favorite channel, if they're not working on their shit, it's so funny. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz, you see the puppeteer and you see the show at the same time now. So your channel, in the old day, like your favorite channel could channel information. It would help them and help you, and you'd both be striving to be that higher version or higher frequency you. But now they can't. They have to blend it, because if they haven't dealt with their dark night of the soul, their programs, their process, they can't help but interject their opinion, their programs, their traumas in with their channeling now. So you have to discern what's for you and what's not. And you have a direct source to God, to your inner God, to your outer God, to the I am. And I made a deliberate decision again, probably within the last few months, where Spirit said, do you want to be the I am, or do you want to be the persona? Okay, so the persona is more like 3D. The persona is, I'm going to, living out my personality. I've never really been in my life as like a dedication or a mission to being a certain persona. I've always known different past lives. I've always thought of myself as different races and different beliefs and different realms. I've never really identified with this body, this version of me being the only me. And so the I am, the unity consciousness, is more of a blend of everything. And you let go of linear time. You let go of personality. Yes, we all still have our individuality, but we don't go further into the program of the persona. Anyway, more about that another day. So God is not to be feared. Okay, so people that are still preaching, fear God, okay? Fear is not love. Period. Okay, so God is now. Okay? You don't wait to get to some pearly gates and then they go, let's see what you did here, and let's, assess whether you're good or bad or blah, blah, blah. No, God and Goddess is here right now. Creator God, which is you, is here right now. Okay? You can call on the power of the living God in you and without you for anything you want right now. There's many tools that are available to us now that we've tried thousands of times, probably over 50 years, maybe haven't worked, right? We were in a different density. We were in a different time. Try again. Keep focusing. Yes, you can look at what's going on in the world events if you want to, but what's happening in the world is going to keep happening. Just like I was saying in the beginning of that show, like The Magician, where they said, you did it 26 times. So you're going to go, their masses are going to go over the lockdowns, over the health, the military, how the government works, how they're oppressing them, as they wake up, and then each time, like the rinse cycle, they get more off, more awake, more awake, more awake, get more dirt off, more debris. Okay, but you are already awake. You already know. So don't focus on them. unless it comes to your door or you're seeing it right there in your house, don't let anything bring up fears or tears or anything. Even if it's in your house, respond differently. We really are magicians now. We can conjure up anything we want, but we have to believe we can, and we have to try again. Okay, try again with your supernatural powers, your abilities. Don't be like, oh, I could never do that. I visit with people on, they can believe that they would find $100, but they can't believe they'd find a briefcase with $1 million. But really, it's actually almost just as much of a probability in a way. I mean, I've never found $100. I found a 50 once. I've found hundreds of my own that I've put in places that I've, but the idea is to not base the present on the past. To know that God and your creator God, you are right now. God is right now. So for them to be teaching these religions of that you will be judged at the end of the road and you'll go to heaven or hell or whatever. No, God is here right now. This is happening now, and there's no God to fear. Okay, that is the reptilian energy, the dark energy that wants to keep power because they can't create, they need you to create. So in order to have you create the reality they want you to create for them, they have to keep you in fear. Okay? So yeah, waiting for some future promise of a God. God is right now. Okay, and then, so finding the way out. So like in the show, The Magician, right? So, and then you're trapped, okay, so you're trapped in a dream, you're trapped in a game, or like in OA, it was like that, it was a house, right? The second season of OA. You find your way out. So I've woke up in a dream before. So I'm dreaming and I think I'm awake and I'll get up and I'll walk around the house. And I would look and I would notice that instead of, we used to have a cat clock, right? One of those kitty clocks. And I noticed there wasn't one, there was 2 clocks. And I know that I wasn't really awake in the real world. So I go and I, oddly enough, just lay back down on my body. That was my logic in my early 20s. And then I'd keep trying to get back up. Or I'd get up and I'd go to the window and there'd be a whole bunch of cars outside. And we didn't have a whole bunch of cars. Right? So you'll notice something different in the dream, and that would let me know that I wasn't awake. I was lucid dreaming or astral traveling. I wasn't awake yet in this reality. So spirits reminded me of that. To look around, like the teapot was an example. New things are going to appear to me. New things are going to jump out at me. So keep focusing on me. Don't let any riffraff energy in. There's no one to save. There's no one to help. There's no one to really even educate. Okay? I'm going to put Mandela effect on this video, and some people will watch it for that very reason. But the reason I'm doing that is because there's nothing more to know than the Mandela effect, which is actually just a quantum shift. It's the top tier to know that you have the power to create your own reality. Hey. That reminds me, my candle needs to be turned on for magic. Watch it. Okay, there you go. Okay. So you create your own reality. We always talk about that. We've always said, oh, I create my own reality, blah, 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 blah. So, but when you get to be a cynical broad like me, you're like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just waiting for these idiots to smarten up so I can have the life I want. Spirit's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay? First of all, if you're focusing on them being idiots, then that's where you're focusing. All these idiots around, they need to wake up and they don't know and they want this and they don't believe it. So the fact that I even notice them, I'm part of their frequency or my program. Because if I was creating something so fucking amazing and powerful and wonderful and erotic and magical and interesting, I would give a flying flaming fuck what they're doing, right? I notice that when I'm really interested in something, I don't care. I don't hear noise. I don't hear chaos. I don't hear nothing. I'm just, usually with me it's typing some project. But when I'm really interested in something, I don't notice the things around me that formerly might have bothered me. So, Spirit is reminding not to wait. We're not waiting for critical mass anymore. We're there. It's just that, and we have the powers. It's just that we aren't used to having them. We're so used to being kept down and kicked around that we're not using them. So dive in again, the power of thought. Every fucking thought creates. Thought is your creator magic. Thought is your magic wand. Sound creates reality. Sound, your voice is sound. Thoughts are sound. Is true, they're vibrations. Okay, so it's the game. It's the cycle of, so as I was saying, like in those movie examples, you just keep doing it until you get it right. Not necessarily right. You keep getting, until you can find your way out of the game. So I'd find my way out of the dream by recognizing that I was asleep. And I did that with, I give you the clock example and the car example. So we're doing that now. Okay, we're in the dream. So I'm looking around and I see a teapot that I haven't seen before. It just jumps out at me, okay? So notice it, give it your attention. When something feels weird or bad or off, don't go, well, I don't know, maybe I should, or maybe I should help this person, or maybe I should do that. No, just don't even look. We're in a time now, there's nobody to help, okay? They have access to the same information you do. They've made their choice. They've made their marker. Now it's just the cleanup. So in order to create new worlds, we've never been here before. And the channeled information said that for like a decade, that Earth's never been here. No, I'm just going to talk in general terms, but nobody in the universe, no entity, no being has ever been in a time, has never experienced what's going on Earth right now. So for the last, decade, time doesn't really exist, but all these beings from all these different, let's say, planets and realms and dimensions were coming to Earth because they wanted to be part of it. So a lot of the people that left, that you think are dying in your life, or that or seem really different, they've had walk-ins, okay? Some people actually die. The physical body's just not strong enough. They can't do it. Other beings just walk in. Some die and then the beings come back as babies or whatever. But to be able to experience what's going on Earth now, because they used to do a quantum read. So they had like this quantum ball, quantum computer. Did you see the new quantum computer stuff Google's putting out this week? The crystal or something? Anyway, got a tangent. So they used to be able to predict what humans would do. So they go, oh, well, if we introduce this weird thing, then they'll do this. And if we do, right? And so that ended in 2012. Their power was lost. So they have to keep throwing fear, keep trying to control us and convince us that there are rulers and oppressors. And people are going to keep going through this cycle until it's over. And so you have to create the reality you want, you have to find your way out of the game. Find your way out of the maze. Find your way out of the lucid dream. And you do that by noticing the subtle differences. Okay? And in essence, that's part of what people experience with the Mandela effect, right? I mean, they're in mass because there's scriptures, there's all kinds of things. But for me, at different points, I'd just get really discouraged. I'd be like, okay, well, who cares? And the reality isn't real. Why should I experience this? Why should I do that? Why should I do that? Okay, the point is to raise the vibration. I came here to raise the vibration. The point is for the experience. But all I keep going back to is, what is my greatest joy at my entire life? Whether, like, for me, it's spiritual things, metaphysical. It's books and crystals and tarot and pentacles and Mother Earth and nature and mountains and animals, and I feel this, and then I go, well, who cares? Because I'm not even real. I'm just, an avatar, and I'm expensive. But it doesn't matter. I just ignore that, and I go, okay, well, but what do I want to experience next? What do I want to create next? They can't quantum read. We're creating new every day from every thought, bigger and better than ever. And there's no one in control of you. Okay, they keep pretending they are. They keep blowing smoke. What was that? Blowing smoke where there's fire or whatever. Blowing smoke, I don't even know what that means. But they keep trying to convince you something's happening that's not. So you watch the news feed, you have these different things. It's not fucking happening. Okay? So stop watching it. I look now and then, I have my own personal motives. But I stay focused on what it is I want to create. And I don't even have to create it in the physical. There's no such thing as the physical anyway. But I have, and I know what I'd like to experience next. And so I focus on that. But my biggest challenge is enjoying the now. and being at peace and not kicking my own ass or putting myself down or being self-conscious and just be, or not needing to help this person and help that person, but to just let myself be helped by me and be loved by me. And so Spirit was showing me of finding your way out of the game, one step at a time, really, one different reaction at a time, noticing something beautiful, really, really looking at things and paying attention to the details around you. Okay, so, right, to get out of the loop and to not ever, ever, ever focus on what you don't want. Okay, and so then, yes, following your true passion and spending time, otherwise known as what we want to experience next. So you decide, what do you want to experience next? And conjure that up. Okay, yeah, could you do many things? Yeah. Could I do real estate? Could I open a real estate company? Could I do a nonprofit this? Could I open this business? Could I do a bakery? Could I do forestry? Could I go to naturopathic school or what? There's a fucking 100 things I could do, right? And so you get into your mind, you go, wait, oh, survival says, oh, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? But I fucking lived in a car and nearly starved to death and froze to death, okay? I know I can live with nothing. Like, I will manifest from there. So why in the hell go and grab one of these, what, job is my identity? When my passion is my spiritual work, and my passion is books that are completely fucking irrelevant, right? In a way. I mean, you got everything you want on the internet. The youngins, they try to make the books expand. They're not, but to me, the energy of books and the magic of books is books that are walls, books that are doors, just books and crystals, but enhanced with like also steampunk, Victorian magic, witchcraft in a way of like just deep velvets and dark colors, and the magical mystical library is my passion, and that's really all I have to go on. And so whatever your passion is what you're here to do, and don't be distracted by helping other people. Helping other people right now, it's not a thing. There's no one to help. Because if you change yourself and you focus on yourself, you won't even see that person. Or that person won't need help because there'll be a different version of them. All you can really do is work on yourself. And so to change the game, to change the timeline, change the game board, you do it one step at a time. Noticing one thing at a time. Okay, so... Right, we no longer need to wait for mass consciousness. We've never been to this spot before. Right, responding differently, seeing new things, literally new things will appear. And I remember reading Cryon stuff when I was young about, said you'd walk over the same path for 30 years, you keep, and then all of a sudden, or some people in history, like 100 years, and then all of a sudden this artifact will just surface. And I remember when I first read the first Cryon book in the early 90s, well, I wonder how this will happen, right? I wondered a lot of things in the first Cryon books that I've done, like first you're going to leave your home as a semi, and then a van, and then a backpack. Oh my God, I totally forgot what I was saying. Cryon said, do you remember this thing? Not like I can rewind this. But at any rate, that you'd be walking over the same path and then all of a sudden something would surface. Hadn't heard about the Mandela effect or, quantum shifts. I mean, I had, but I didn't know that they were literal and physical. So I'm like, okay, so it just didn't occur to me. But now I know what Cryon meant. The Cryon collective, Cryon that you change frequencies and you tune into something different. You change realities, you change realms, and so does Mother Earth. And so this artifact that was never before visible to mankind or you or your tribe or your group of frequency, because the mass consciousness, the collective consciousness is smaller now. So like you and a dozen other people or 100 other people have like mind on something and it manifests. So let's just a crude example here is apple pie. So 100 of you really think that apple pie would be a really good thing to have on the table. And you really believe that, and then it's there for that 100. So instead of needing billions of people for a critical mass, with smaller groups, tribal. That's what Spirit's showing me. And then, yes, the Cryon thing of different realms. So that artifact will show. And that's what people have been seeing in mass with the Mandela effect. You see mirror on everything. People talk about it all the time. I bet like everybody's shifted, right? I mean, it's so funny that people don't know. And it's so funny of like Biden, for example, they show videos of him back in the day doing some stupid thing, and you can clearly see it's not the same fucking person, right? So these people, including myself, every single one of us as humans we're keeping to recycle in a certain timeline, certain events, certain programs until we change it. It's not going to fucking change. The new normal is you caught in a loop, a time loop. Mrs. Peregrine's whatever, School for Gifted Children, that movie too, had a time loop. You're caught in the time loop. And the only way to change the time loop and move to the next level is to change your inner reality with outer power. I believe in the power of the living God. When you conjure out power outside of you to use, and you change your inner beliefs that you can, okay, your frequency changes, you'll see that artifact. And I remember another Cryon of like, he gives the example of a car. He's like, for example, you know, you have this car for many, many years, and then all of a sudden the car updates itself, and the manual updates with it. So it's just automatic, right? I didn't get it, and now I do. That's what people experience that they call the Mandela effect, which is a quantum shift. So you all of a sudden shift to reality where that's already all changed. You know, and who knows, the car probably has consciousness as well, and so it, you know, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, can't have two thoughts at the same time. Okay, our biology is catching up. The game, looking with new eyes to get out of it. Okay, choose in an we still have to choose in an individual shift, and then we will have a collective shift, and the collective is smaller. Okay, so because as I'm sitting here going, okay, well, it's pretty obvious that we're going to go into lockdown again, right? Masks are coming back, all the things that are happening now. So it's interesting because this is a soft Armageddon. So instead of a nuclear war, and you know, obviously there's going to be some civil unrest, and people are getting really angry, and that's happening everywhere. But it's basically just the rinse cycle. Just like in The Magician, right? Oh, you've done this 26 times, so you get it the way you want it. So you just keep doing it, like you're in a game of Donkey Kong, right? That was the example in Winona Earp. So you just keep doing it because you're an avatar anyway, right? So as the collective's doing it they're finding out about the medical system and medical tyranny. They're finding out about how the government has works and suppressed them, how billions of dollars is given to other countries while Americans sleep in the street. I mean, they're awakening to just their fucking brain of the logic of, oh my God, everybody's got to wear masks, everybody's got to do this, everybody's got to do that. And then, oh, but all of those people coming across the southern border don't have to. We've closed our northern border. Yeah, which is there. Yeah, it's there. And so they're working on all of that, okay? Stuff that light workers, channelers, healers, we've known for decades, right? I've done alternative medicine consultant for decades. I've, even the last, well, since 2016, did Mandela effect consulting. I've seen supernatural stuff. I move things. I have so much kinetic energy. I got, so I can look at them and go, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait for them to wake up. You know, those guys, they need to, you know, grow a brain. I'm just going to sit here, and spider webs and every dust is growing all over me because I'm sitting there waiting for them to grow a brain or to get it or to wake, right? When I'm asleep and I'm not waking up, I already know. I've known this stuff for decades. So great. They're there. I don't need to go to kindergarten to watch the kids learn to write. I know how to write, so go fucking write. Thank you, Spirit. The point is that that's, well, obviously a very good example. So I don't need to stare at them when they're learning to drive or learning to walk while I know how to walk. So do it. Okay. And so Don't focus on them at all. We don't need to wait for that critical mass. We have our smaller groups of critical mass now. So find your people, and you find your people by being your true self. Never compromising. Don't give a fuck what you look like. Don't give a fuck what you want to do in a day. Do it. Don't let anybody be so needy that they're just draining you out. I mean, I've said no. I put on those big, the Clydesdale horse, the blinders. And Spirit's like, be selfish, pay attention to yourself, just enjoy yourself, which is my greatest challenge. Be at peace, be content, enjoy myself. Okay? And part of that for me is helping other people. Because then I find worth in myself by helping other people. And I feel worthless when I'm just recreating, or I feel stupid, or I feel all of my programs. So sitting in them now, letting them heal, only being about my health, my body, my joy, my peace, and not needing to rescue or save anyone else. And it's not easy. And so, anyway, basically this video is kind of in the big picture to remind myself of how to get out of the game, how to get out of this version of the game and get to the next level. This timeline is to pay attention to the subtle differences. That, like you would in a game. Or this, have you seen I-Land on Netflix? That was very interesting, right? So, okay, this is not about the show now. Put that over there. Okay, so say all of a sudden I see some strange thing in the floor. I'm flashed on, like 25 years ago when this happened to me, and I woke up, I'd done the dishes, and I cleaned the floor, and I got up in the morning, and a dish had jumped out and broke. But there was also a silver dollar in the middle of the floor. And, so you'll have things like that going on, and you just go, okay, well, what are you trying to show me? But it's these subtle things that show you you're in a different timeline. Is it a better timeline, or is it a worse timeline? Who said that? Oh, I did. Oh, okay. Well, it's a better timeline for you. It's a higher frequency for you because we don't shift backwards now. We're in New Earth energy. So it's like a sieve or something. You come up through it, you can't go back down. Okay? Like in the old days, they'd wear crystals or do different things after they'd heal people because they would absorb some of the negative energy. We don't absorb negative energy of other people like that anymore. We create reality by focusing on their negativity, but we don't necessarily absorb their negativity. Okay? We're constantly feeling sorry for them and, oh, sorry, you're okay, oh, you're hurt, oh, you got it, oh, that's creating more hurt people, more of that reality. But it's not necessarily focusing on, I forgot what I was saying. Ugh. All right. I'm just going to move on. So, right, so we're not going negative. So we don't lower our frequency. Anything we do either stays where we're at or raises our frequency. Which, yes, raises the frequency of the collective. But right now, we're more of an individual receiver and an individual projector, okay? I'm projecting my reality. And every time I look over and feel sorry for someone and go, oh, I should help them and I should do that, while I fucking drown, anyway, let's not get into that thing. But it's just this thing now. Like, this is an example of, I give people couches. Then I end up in the situation where I'm using the couch and then I have to get rid of it. Okay. I get a bunch of couches and then I lost my church space. I have to find a way to get rid of all the couches. Okay. So I do a bunch of stuff to help people and then I have to undo it. Okay. I put out time, I put out money, I put out energy, and I can't help anyone. If they don't decide to help themselves, there's nothing I can do. But the only reason I notice they need help is because I match their program. I wouldn't even notice them if I was minding my own business and creating my own reality that I loved and enjoyed. And that's kind of some of the stuff Spirit's been working on me with, and I will tell you more another fine day when I remember more. So, do you want to... Oh, yes, we'll do some... All right, well, clear the energy. Are you ready? Whew. Goddess bless you, motherfuckers.